This is the shocking story of forced adoptions. An estimated 200,000 women were coerced into giving up their babies in the UK between the 1950s and 1970s. Most were young and unmarried and were sent to so-called mother and baby homes, where they were pressured into signing adoption papers. Jonny Harvey is speaking to one Londoner who was sent to a home in Stamford Hill. She is one of the affected mothers, calling for the government to make an official apology over its role in the scandal.
Well, that was me with my son in the mother and baby home. Beautiful, beautiful boy.
And he was yours?
He was mine. And all I wanted was for us to be together.
In 1969, Anne was sent to a mother and baby home in North London run by nuns. Put to work in the laundry, she was made to repent for what she was told was her sin, falling pregnant outside of marriage. She was 19.
They told us we'd brought shame on our families, which was why we were there. Our families couldn't possibly have us at home because the neighbours would be disgusted with them. And we were made to feel that, well, we were sinners. And the deep shame, it didn't leave me for years and years and years.
Desperate to keep her son, who had been placed in foster care soon after he was born, Anne worked 2 jobs to save enough money to find the 2 of them a home. And yet he was placed for adoption against her wishes.
You didn't want to give up your son, did you?
No, no way. As soon as he was born and you hold him, I mean, it's an overwhelming love. There's nothing you can do about it, it's there. And I knew I wanted to keep him.
She wouldn't meet him again until last year. Anne never had any more children.
I've never allowed myself to get close to anyone because the pain of the separation is so intense. It doesn't leave you.
You might not even know that you've walked past a former mother and baby home, like this one behind me here in Hampstead. But in these homes across London were many stories of vulnerable young women being forced to give up their children.
Estimates suggest that around 200,000 women between the 1950s and 1970s were affected by forced adoptions in institutions run by the church or state. In 2022, a committee of MPs concluded that the state bore ultimate responsibility for this suffering, calling on the government to issue an official apology. Karen Constantine has charted the experiences of many mothers who were affected and is continuing the fight for an apology.
Women and adult adoptees are suffering because that apology hasn't happened. Because what it will do, it will take the kind of stigma of shame, if you like, off the shoulders of people that were told at the time they'd done wrong, they'd done a bad thing. Now we know that wasn't the case. We know that this was how society was at the time. But it's important for all of these historic injustices that the government of the day act, that the government of the day take responsibility. And this government need to do that very urgently.
The government told us that this abhorrent practice should never have taken place and that their deepest sympathies are with all those affected. They continue to engage with those affected to provide support, with the Secretary of State meeting survivors earlier this month to hear about their experiences. Anne and survivors like her say they will continue to fight for an official apology.
Well, Liam, you've met Anne and Karen, haven't you?
Yep.
You're working on this issue within Parliament. Tell us about what you're trying to achieve.
So I brought forward a bill in Parliament called Philomena's Law, which is to deliver justice for 13,000 survivors of Ireland's mother and baby homes who live in Britain. And I'm also working with UK-based survivors from mother and baby homes in England and Wales. And as your intro showed there with Anne and Karen, both of whom have had the pleasure of meeting, this affected over 200,000 women. It also affected a lot of adoptees as well, who are often missing from that picture. And this
so what does justice look like?
So justice is, look, firstly acknowledging the profound impact this has had on people throughout their lives. And I said before the last general election, an apology is a really important step and a really important part of that.
Why do you think that hasn't happened so far?
I'm not sure. I know that as the Secretary of State there and her quote, they're looking at that, but it can't just be an apology. What's also really important is people have access to their medical and birth records so they can trace what happened to them, and also funding for trauma services as well. Because whether this happened, in the 50s or the 60s, this still affects people today.
You can see that with Anne.
You can see that, and also the other thing I'd say about a lot of the women involved is we haven't got much time left. A lot of these women are now in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Some of them are starting to die, and it's so important we deliver justice for them while we can.
What about reparations?
I think that would have to be looked at as part of an apology. But there is a wide package here. Other countries have got this right. Ireland have led the way on it, Australia have led the way on it, and it's important that we're now taking steps, and I'm really pleased the government has started to act on it.
Jeremy.
Good luck, Liam, with the bill. It's very important. It's disgusting and disgraceful the way a baby was wrenched from their mother's arms because allegedly born out of wedlock or some kind of moralistic nonsense of the time. Surely let's just get it right, compensate, recognise, apologise, and never ever allow this kind of brutality to go on again.
Laila.
I mean, I agree with Jeremy, it's disgraceful, and of course the UK government should apologise. Imagine being 15, terrified, and being told your baby will be much better if you just disappear quietly. But I think the country is pretty sick and tired of meaningless apologies. What they really want is accountability. I want people, it's the same with the rape gangs. We need, sorry means nothing if people are still in place. If the government closes ranks to protect institutions over the victims and the vulnerable.
Laila, we must leave it there. And this, of course, happened many decades ago as well.